Hi there, welcome back. Scott here. In this particular video, we are diving into the Dell Slim Desktop line from 2025. I got a lot of questions to review and compare all three of them at the same time. We got lucky because this is not a sponsored channel, not a sponsored video. I'm doing IT, I'm a field technician going from client to client, and I have different clients just like all of you are all different, and different clients need different price tier and different options. So first of all, we're going to look at the ECS1250. We're going to compare that against the QCS1250 and a QBS1250. So this is going to be a longer video. Please feel free to ask any questions under the comment section. Will answer it as best as I can, or even put it in the next video. If you have any specific interest, please feel free to jump into that specific chapter. This is probably going to be a longer video, so let's dive in. So first of all, this is the most affordable options. Again, this is not a sponsored channel, not a sponsored video. I'm not selling you anything, but I have to tell you that as of today, this ECS1250 with the Ultra 5 CPU with Windows Home, 512 SSD, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, $549. This computer, the QCS1250, with similar specs but without the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi on these two business quote-unquote pro model not included by default. If you need a Wi-Fi, you have to make sure that the computer will be coming with a Wi-Fi. If it's not on a spec list, it's not coming. So this would be almost $200 more with an Ultra 5 CPU, maybe 8 or 16 gigs of RAM, and a 250 or a 512 SSD. Now we're jumping into the real Pro model, which is a Pro Plus, and this probably gonna be $1,000 or $1,100 just to start with. And by default, maybe they're gonna have the same similar i5 CPU, the same amount of RAM, same solid state, but the difference will be upgrade capabilities. If you're somebody who's looking at the most affordable options and it's cost $550, but you're gonna say, okay, maybe the motherboard gonna be built differently, I got significantly better component to stepping up to these models, they cost significantly more. I'm telling you, no. This motherboard, same quality, same component as the other two. It will last the same amount of time. They'll give you on-site warranty on all these models. Maybe you're gonna get 3-year default on a higher end model. Maybe you're just gonna get 1. I've been doing Dell Optiplex for 16 years. Even the cheapest version can and will last 8 to 10 years. So let's dive in just the front panel and let's see what kind of ports we have, and let me give you some explanation what's going on in here. So first of all, what's going to common is we're going to have 3 USB ports, and we're going to have USB-C on each one, or Thunderbolt. This one has a card reader. This one doesn't even have an option, while the Pro Plus version going to have an optional. But the cheapest model will come with the card reader for some reason. Now you see these audio in and out ports. These are combo ports. This is where you can put a headset or a splitter in it, when you can have your mic and speaker out in the same time. There is nothing else in the back or in the rear anymore. They'll completely cut off the audio jacks, I believe, on all 3 models, but we're gonna dive into the rear panel in a minute. So just letting you know that you have to plug your speakers and microphone into these ports by default. If you have a monitor which has HDMI or DisplayPort and you have speakers, you can use that. Or if you have a webcam that has a built-in microphone, so you don't have to plug anything in, and that would be the case. As you can see, there is no DVD option in here. This one has an optional DVD. This one has an optional DVD when you can put something in. But let's look at the ports in the back side and let's talk about those. Don't worry, we're gonna dive into all the details regards of component level on each motherboard, and I will give you my experience on these computers and also my knowledge. So this is the ECS1250, the most affordable options. As you can see, we only have 1 DisplayPort and 1 HDMI. Both of these are 4K capable now. Not only that, but the DisplayPort, you can daisy chain multiple monitors. You can hook up 4 DisplayPort monitors just connecting to each other, and you can get full HD on all 4. As you can see, there is no audio in and out, and no USB-C or Thunderbolt in the back. Also, It looks like there is an optional port in here, as nothing on the motherboard has been cut off. The mid-tier model, the QCS1250, now this is where you can put optional ports in here. You have a display port, you have an HDMI, same amount of USB ports, you have a hardwired connection, and oh, I forgot to mention, this only comes with 180 watt power supply by default. With the mid-tier model, with the QCS1250, you can choose between 180 and a 360 watt power supply, and definitely the Pro Plus, the Sim Pro Plus version, the QBS1250. This can come with 180 or a 360 watt power supply. You can change these out later on. If you get this low-end model with 180 watt power supply, you can definitely put the 300 or 300 watt power supply in it. However, the motherboard knows what kind of power supply you have connected, because it has a 4-pin wire going into the circuit board. I can show you, of course, right here behind this fan. And this one only has one. The second one is being cut off the motherboard. So even if you put a larger power supply, the system might not be really benefiting from the larger power supply, because it will not know that you have a bigger power supply. So let's get back to the ports. Obviously, the Pro Slim Plus model is the flagship, and we have 3 display ports in here. These ports are 5K. These are also 5K. You can daisy chain them. You have another Thunderbolt back in here. You have more USB ports and a hardwired connection, and obviously you have the optional larger power supply. So let's dive into the component level, and let's talk about each differently. So again, quality wise, there is the same quality regards of motherboards. I'm expecting the same amount of lifetime, 8 to 10 years, even from the cheapest model. So as you can see, the motherboard is completely simplified. We only have one M2 in here on a circuit board. We have our Wi-Fi, and the full PCI slot is in the bottom, so therefore a dual slotted video card not be installable in here, because we are hitting the power supply. We have also these PCI Express ports. These are only one lane, and if you're looking at, we only have one optional SATA port in here. The other one is being cut off from the circuit board and does not come with a little pigtail. So you, even if you buy this PC and try to hook up a 2.5 SATA solid state or any kind of drive, there is no bracket in here. In 2025, none of these computers are coming with a bracket, unless you buy a DVD, which includes the bracket, or unless you buy a hard drive at the time of the purchase, then you're gonna get the bracket and the power cable. Other than that, you're gonna get this. Even if you pay $1,200 and not buying a DVD with the most expensive option, it will not come with a bracket. I cannot emphasize how important it is. Dell says in a marketing video that you can just seemingly upgrade, future-proof and all that jazz, but it doesn't tell you that these are no longer coming with a metal bracket, which I'll show you in a minute. So this connector in here is for a SATA device, and for the optical drive, the cable is not even included. It is a fight to get to Dell parts department and get the right cable. I don't think it's even possible at this point, but what I learned is, if you looking at eBay or other sources, you can search for an Optiplex 7010 or 7020 from the previous year, 2024 or even 2023 model, and the cable will connect and work flawlessly. I went to the Dell community website and posted with model numbers and all that stuff. Still available. You can get it for $15. If you try to buy this cable from Dell, it's either going to be out of stock, it's going to be $30, $40. So let me move this out of the way, and let's talk about the mid-tier, the QCS1250. So this one has the bracket, which I mentioned, but it's not because this is the Pro line. It's because we purchased this with a DVD included, and obviously you have to have a bracket. And once we purchased with the bracket, with the DVD, the power cable is also coming with the PC, which is right here. It's, as you can see, plugged in. But again, even with the most expensive model, this will be missing, and this will be missing unless you're buying again with the drive or with the optical drive. So as you can see, we have a little bit more on a motherboard, but not so much. We gained one extra SATA connector, so now you can plug in a 2.5 SATA or a 3.5 drive. With the optical drive, we still only have one M2, and our Wi-Fi is no longer populated because this is a business class model. So you will have to buy that at the time of the purchase or install it separately. And a 16-lane slot is conveniently located on the bottom, so you cannot put a dual slotted video card in here, just a single slotted. Like for example, this NVIDIA T1000 would be one of the better option. But again, the power supply options are opening up. We also have a speaker on board, I believe. This is for a speaker, and this one, the motherboard, also the pins for a larger power supply is being cut off. That would be pretty much it. We have a blower fan. It is super quiet. I reviewed the cheaper model a couple of weeks ago. I reviewed also this model as a full review at my channel. You can dive into that. And we have two slots just like with the cheaper model. I think Dell claims that with this you can go up to 32 gig of RAM DDR5. With this one you can go up to 64 gig. You could probably venture above. Dell claims that this solid state can be 1 terabyte, while the mid-tier can handle 2 terabytes. I'm sure you can put the 4 terabyte in both of them and we'll be just fine. So let me move these two out of the way and let's talk about the Sim Pro Plus. That is where the excitement is, at least for now. So as you can see, we have significantly more options. This came with a 360 watt power supply. Not only that, but has an 8-pin connector on this power supply for a graphics card. And as you can see, this is how the motherboard should be designed in all three cases. That the 16-lane slot is up here, so a dual slotted video card like this 5060 low profile should go in, and we should just go to Dell.com, go to the part department and get a cable from our power supply to this video card with the 8-pin, and we should be able to plug this in and it should work like charm. So I reached out to Dell parts department and was able to buy a $40 small short cable, which was supposed to work from this power supply to a 8-pin required card. It's a low profile 5060, just arrived, so I'm really hoping to make this work. Unfortunately, the cable is not even close. And once I started looking into what kind of cards Dell is actually offering with this particular case and the big brother, the Precision Workstation, which now called Ultramax, something like that, they all offering cards which are only getting power from the PCI slot 70 watt requirement. So I don't think Dell is ever gonna sell us a cable officially. If they are watching this video, this is a game changer. It could be a game changer if the parts department would be good as designing, the engineering team who designs these computers, and make that part available so we can just go under our Dell service tag and make a purchase, not only just buying the solid state and RAM, but please have an option to upgrade the power supply, have an option to get this front fan if we want to, have an option to buy this cable, this bracket, and the actual cable from the power supply to the graphics card. It would be a real good experience not to be on a phone for an hour just to buy something which turns out is not even close to what we need. So that would be a huge improvement. Other than that, this thing is a real deal. If we're looking at the components on a motherboard, this has a Wi-Fi, but not because the highest tier with the highest price come with the Wi-Fi. No, because when we bought this, the Wi-Fi was included with the Bluetooth. As you can see, we have 1, 2, 3 M2 options. We can have RAID in here, and there is a fourth option. You would need like a 90 degrees, a little angle to be able to plug anything in here. We have 4 slots. We can go up to 128 gigs of DDR5. We have again the optional card reader in here. It's actually on the circuit board. It's not being cut off like with the mid-tier model. And we have these 2 power connector going to the motherboard, so the motherboard knows that we have a 360 watt power supply. Why does the motherboard needs to know that we have a 360 watt power supply? This is offered with the Ultra 5, Ultra 7, Ultra 9. And if you have a larger power supply, your power limit is actually be increased with the higher end model. Yes, Scott, I'm looking at, and even with an Ultra 9 is 125 watt. That is true, but Dell is cutting down the power limit on these models regardless of what kind of cooler you have, regardless of how big is your power supply. So as we know, even the Ultra 7, if you watch my EBT1250 Dell premium desktop video, we learned that any of these, even the Ultra 7 with a turbo and a short burst, which is now really a long burst because these are so efficient and require so much less cooling, these CPUs can constantly draw 250 watt from the power supply if it can. If you put a video card in it, which normally just would probably pull 150 or 250 watt, that it will exceed your power supply. Even this might be too close. I'm dying to see this work, but thanks to Dell, or not thanks to Dell parts department, I cannot just get this mini or micro 8-pin connector to convert over to the standard. So I have to come up with workaround. It's in the work. Hopefully in this weekend I'm gonna have time and I'm gonna be able to make this review happen on the right way with the right cable, but not without modification or fabrication. So thank you so much for your time. As again, if you have any question regards of any of these three computers, your comments are always welcome, and also your like and subscribe, definitely appreciated. I'll see you in the next video. Scott's out.